Welcome to Your Unapologetic Life, the podcast for the woman who's done crying herself to sleep after the breakup or divorce, and she is ready to figure out what this next chapter is going to look like. You're not trying to get your old life back. You're asking, what do I want? And how do I want to live on my terms? I'm Morgan Barkis, empowerment coach, speaker, and author, and this podcast is your space to rise, reclaim your power, and live unapologetically. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely, and learning the difference is one of the most powerful shifts you can make after a breakup. All right, I want to acknowledge that you may have some fear around being alone forever. And let's say you wake up at 2 a.m, you can't sleep, and you're like, wait a second, am I going to be alone forever? Like, this is not how I planned this to work out. You are not the only one. You are not the only one. This is a fairly new state of affairs for you. We don't know what your future is going to be. And just because you're alone doesn't mean that you have to feel lonely. I will tell you, I felt lonely for years, especially on Sundays. I would get real lonely. I feel like Sundays is a cozy day where you want to be in your sweatpants and watch movies with somebody or go get something to eat and then be lazy the rest of the day or go on an adventure with someone. And I would think, why do I have to be alone? Why do I have to do everything alone? And what changed for me was when I finally shifted into a place where I loved my life so much that even if I was alone, I didn't feel lonely. And when I was in the one relationship I had that I would consider a serious, committed relationship, there were many times in that relationship that I felt lonely because it wasn't the relationship that was right for me. And I wasn't getting my needs met in the way that I needed them to be met. And so there were often times that I was unhappy with how things were. And so I felt lonely. And after that breakup, and I saw a therapist and worked through those initial feelings, then I was ready to go, okay, I'm single again. Now what? That's you. That's where you're at. That's where my clients are. They're the women that have stopped crying themselves to sleep and they're like, I am single again. Now what? Yes, I am alone. It doesn't mean I have to be lonely. 2 weeks ago, I was in Miami. I was in Miami a few days for pleasure, then I was there for work, and then I stayed an extra day for fun. And it was fun. I mean, I had all the fun. I went on 2 dates. I was supposed to have a third date. That didn't work out. No problem. I got to meet one of my girlfriends and one of her friends instead. And so it was fun, 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 nonstop. I was out and about. I mean, being there for me, I love South Florida. I love when it's 87 degrees and humid, 95 and humid. Like that is my jam. I love to dress for that kind of weather. I feel exhilarated in that kind of weather. I don't care for a dry heat. I am a hot and humid kind of gal. The ocean breeze, put the hair up, windows down, driving around. I'm happy. Everywhere I went, I was happy. I didn't care there was traffic. I was happy. Um, I just I mean, it was like, what do I feel like? I feel like tacos. So I went to Delray Beach and I got tacos and I had margaritas and I'm walking around window shopping and I went into a couple shops. Like it was just so fun to go and be out and about with people and being in a place geographically that I love. I mean, truly, South Florida is the only place I've lived where I got there and I was like, this is the happiest I've ever been in my life. I finally truly feel happy. So I do believe, I mean, some people say bloom where you're planted. Yes, and I truly believe there are certain places on this planet people are meant to be or that feel like home to them, where they feel grounded and their soul feels full. For me, it's South Florida. Now, I haven't traveled abroad. I feel like I might find that as well, somewhere Mediterranean. I have a feeling that I would feel that as well. I haven't been to Italy. I haven't been to Greece yet. I haven't been to Spain. So I think that I would probably love it there too. And I'm just saying, of all the domestic places I've lived, South Florida is my jam. So anyway, I say that to say I was there. I was already on a dopamine high from being in a place that I love and just feeling free to wear summery clothes and keep the windows down, and that salty sea air was everywhere I went. And I'm familiar enough with the area, and I didn't always have plans with people, and that didn't matter. Like, I would just go to the beach and I would bring a book and people would come over and talk to me. And I mean, I wasn't sitting there 5 minutes when a woman came over and she's like, "Hey, did your tattoo hurt?" Well, of course it hurt. Come on now. You've had a tattoo. So she and I started going back and forth, and we got some things in common. And, so it was just everywhere I go, I can interact with people. And then part of that time there was 3 days of work. And so it was really fun because I work alone a lot because of the nature of my job, my corporate job. And so when I can get together with other people in my role from other parts of the country and then also some of the in-house people, what a blast. I mean, for me, it's so fun. Again, I like having my own room and I can go to my own space at the end of the day and get ready for bed and get a good night's sleep. And I enjoy going to dinner with a bunch of people and we're walking around and figuring out where we're going to go to get a drink before we call it a night. Like, that is super fun to me. So I came off of that week in a real slump. I would say borderline depression because I was riding so high on having been around so many people and having things to do and just feeling so very inspired by where I was. That tropical setting is just for me. And I came back to the Chicagoland area and I was down. I slept a lot, wasn't feeling real chipper. And that being said, I thought I need, because the situation is what it is. Like, I am back in my apartment on my own. I got to get back to work. Like, the reality doesn't change. My reaction to it needs to change, right? So I thought, what do I have control over? Well, I don't have to sit in this apartment by myself and work. I can go to a co working space and do my work. So that is what I did. Both Monday and Friday last week. I didn't necessarily need to make a plan with someone or meet up with someone. And I knew that if I went to this co working space, it would mean other people would be around me. I would interact with the staff, and that's what I needed. I even took a break on Friday, went for a walk, did a little window shopping, went into Madewell and got a couple pairs of jeans. I wanted to make sure that my cup was being full, in a way that staying at home by myself would not do. Because I don't get lonely anymore. And I know when I need to be around people. And it's really these like social butterfly moments that are just simply or simple ways for me to find ways to connect with people that I still have to get work done. I have a schedule to some degree and I have things I have to do. Can I do it in a space where I don't have to be alone? And when you think about it, like, alone is a physical state. Lonely is an emotional state. So the reality was, yes, I was alone in my apartment. I was also feeling lonely. I thought, I need to get out of here. I need to be around people. Monday and Wednesday, I spent the entire day in a co working space. And in that same space, there's a gym so I could go work out. And so even though I wasn't with anyone, I was around people and I needed that. And then even a couple of the other days that same week, I went to a restaurant. There's good coffee and a good breakfast sandwich. And I just thought, even if it's an hour or two, I need to be around people and not be at the house by myself. And so you have to trust yourself, um, because, yeah, you're living alone. And there are also moments where you don't want to be alone and you get to find a way to connect that feels good to you. And needing to be around people doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means you're human. Like, we are social creatures. You can love being alone like I do. You can also need connection, need a little bit of chaos, need to see the other monkeys running around. Are you familiar with Armchair Expert? And Dax Shepard is one of the hosts of Armchair Experts, and he went to school for anthropology, but he jokes all the time about like how we're all just like a bunch of monkeys. Really, I mean, we're just social creatures, and running around and being little animals. And we are animals that are social and we need to connect and socialize. You might be the woman who has always had a built in partner or someone in the house with you, someone in your bed, someone in your house, someone who's, working from his office while you're working from your home office. And it can feel unsettling if that is now upside down and inside out. And you can reframe it. It's your choice. This is your chance to discover what connection looks like for you now, because you need to look at what your reality is now instead of being depressed, thinking about what it used to be, or feeling anxious about what it might be in the future. The reality is right now. Do an assessment of your situation now, and how can you reframe it and make the best of it right now? How can you make sure that you might be alone and you don't feel lonely? You've got coffee shops, you've got co-working spaces, you've got gyms, you've got restaurants. You can go and volunteer, you can go walk in public spaces. Like today, I thought, I don't feel like going to the gym. And there's people at the gym, and I didn't feel like being inside. And so I went for a walk. And, I head nod to a few people and smile at other people. Think about what spaces you want to be in when you do have that moment where you think, okay, I am alone and I'm feeling lonely. And I don't want to feel lonely. What do I need to do that? And this, like I said, this is what I do with my clients. We explore the ways that they feel connected to themselves and to other people, and that they don't fall mercy to loneliness. You want to discover your own unique rhythms. What gives you energy? Where are there some connection points in your life so that you can tap into that when you don't feel like you want to be physically alone? If this is resonating with you and you're thinking, yes, yes, and yes, and Morgan, can you help me figure this out? Yes, I can. I can help you. Book a discovery call with me. It's a link in my show notes. You'll have access to my Calendly. It's just a virtual calendar. You'll book a time on there that we can chat for 30 minutes. We're going to uncover what's going on for you, what your current reality is, and how you can make it, design it so that you feel energized and you are alone and not lonely. Thanks for listening to Your Unapologetic Life. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with another woman you care about. Also, follow the show, rate, and review. Are you ready to go deeper? Click the link in the show notes to get instant access to my free video, 5 questions to ask yourself now that you're single again. If you're thinking, I want to hire Morgan as my coach, you can also find the discovery call link in the show notes. Let's build this next chapter together.